So I want to talk to you a little bit about who do you believe? And when I ask you these questions about the FBI, you only have two choices. You have the choice that they are lying to you or they're completely incompetent. Either way, they should all be fired. Okay? We should clean house. Either way. You don't want to believe the conspiracy theory that they're doing this intentionally. That's fine. That's fine. Then you must admit that they're completely incompetent. Let me take on the cocaine scandal at the White House. This is clearly now a cover-up. The Secret Service is now going to brief Congress today on what they can talk about, but they have to be very careful because it's an ongoing investigation. I am so sick of hearing the FBI say it's an ongoing investigation when they leak everything else about investigations that help the left. And then when you have some pretty serious evidence like, videotape of the president's son weighing crack cocaine with a hooker, it's an ongoing investigation. So let's look at the cocaine thing. First of all, most people have never been to the White House, and I have been blessed to be at the White House several times. And let me explain how this works. When you go into the White House, unless you are a government official, and I mean very high level, or a family member, you go through everything but a rectal cavity search, okay? You take everything out of your pockets. You know, you're at the airport. It's almost the same thing. Do you have anything in your pockets? Take it out of your pockets. Do you have any metal on you? They go through your purse, your briefcase, everything. So the Secret Service is either not doing their job and cocaine got past them, or somebody that doesn't have to go through that search brought the cocaine in. There's only two answers for that. Now, once you get past the line to get into the White House, and I'm talking not about a tour, okay? I'm talking about the executive wing. The tours don't take you to the Oval. They don't take you to the Situation Room. I have only been in that area once, and it was for a tour, but it was a private tour given to me because at the time they thought I was somebody. So I know this part of the White House. There's two ways you get into the executive offices. Well, there's more than two, but for you and me, there's really two ways. You either enter the front, which you come in, and I can't remember which one is the front and which one is the back, because once you're inside, it doesn't compute. But the front side is for the executives like the vice president and the presidential family, because you can park right there. And you walk into this area that used to be the swimming pool and now is right there at the Situation Room. So you park your car. I didn't do this, but if you were the vice president, if you are in a motorcade, you come in that way. And you come in, and right down to your right is a little hallway. You turn that way, and you turn for just a little bit, and then you turn right again, and that's the Situation Room. Now, this is where they said the cocaine was found originally by the library. The library is even as secure as this. If you're a family member, you're going into the library. This is a private library. Then they said they found it outside of the Situation Room. Either way, you're having a problem getting to the library. The library is, you are coming in that round little oval that the president has been doing speeches from or press conferences from. and it's got the fireplace behind him. It's not the Oval Office, it's another Oval Room. And you go in there, and it's a very small room, and you're coming from the outside there. Right outside of that, there's a Secret Service desk that you have to go by. If you would go out of that room and take a right, you would be at the library. Again, Secret Service is everywhere. Now, they say it's the Situation Room. Well, that's even more secure than the library, and the library's very secure. By the way, cameras everywhere. Then they said, well, no, it was at the entrance, but they're talking about the more public entrance where you have a desk that you have to check in with. So if you went that way, you have to check in at a desk. You've already gone through the cavity search. However, you have Secret Service there because you have to check your cell phone and everything else. And there's little cubbies there, and there are Secret Service people there. And it's a very small little room. If you drop your cocaine, somebody's going to notice it. Okay. Now, the Secret Service tells us 3 different locations. Are they that incompetent? Or is this a cover-up? Next, they won't even tell us if they've dusted for prints. You can dust for prints and run a set of prints in about an hour. How many hours has it been since they found the bag of cocaine? Now, I just want to say, they won't even say if they've dusted. If they haven't, they should be fired. If they have and didn't find any prints, then they should go back through the videotape of everybody who's coming through that door and look for the person that is wearing gloves in the summer or rubber gloves. Because if it's in your pocket and it falls out, there should be prints on the bag. I don't know a lot of cocaine users, currently, but I will tell you that I was never worried with my bag of cocaine that my prints were on it because I was out of control in the first place. So, were they wearing rubber gloves, or did they not dust for prints? If they did dust for prints, why haven't they looked for the rubber glove person that is on the videotape coming into the White House? Or why haven't they told us who the prints match? And I know you can do that in a couple of hours, probably an hour, but a couple of hours, especially if you're the Secret Service. Why don't we know that there were no prints or there were prints? Why don't we know that? We know exactly who was in those hallways at the time that we know it. We don't, you and I, but they do. So let me go through this. So we have the Secret Service, and they just can't find the person in the most secure building in the world, not by the kitchens, not by the dumpster, but in the most secure building in the world, in the most secure area of the most secure building in the world. And they say they have no idea. They just can't find it. But they also, the FBI, has now had how many years to find the person with the pipe bomb? They still don't know anything. And they don't know the chain of custody for the videotape because the videotape was edited. They don't even know how that happened. How did they possibly have the phone information corrupted on the cell phone? What an odd string of coincidence. Now, you'd think they'd be able to track these things down. You'd think that when they got grandma, because of the cell phone triangulation and all of the videotape that they have, they could get a grandmother in Nebraska and bust her ass within a couple of weeks. They still can't find the pipe bomb guy. They can't find the guy on the top of the scaffolding. That's really weird. But that's not all. They're not sure if there were even any undercover agents from the FBI. They're not sure? That's your testimony? If that is true, you should be fired for incompetence. But we know that's not true. How do they get away with it? Well, it's an ongoing investigation. But at some point, you need to say, you're really bad at these ongoing investigations because you've had an ongoing investigation on Hunter Biden for how many years? And you still don't know what everyone in the public knows, that crimes were committed. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. And they wonder why Americans are buying into conspiracies. There's a difference between a conspiracy theory and a conspiracy fact. I'm pretty sure with the FBI and the justice system, we are now looking at conspiracy facts. I'm anxious to see what they come out with the bag of cocaine.